Welcome to Impact Masters Podcast in collaboration with Africa's Talking Retold Podcast, where every conversation sparks new insights. Join us as we delve into the stories of extraordinary individuals who are shaping our world. Movers and shakers in tech, policymakers, entrepreneurs, entertainers, and all those whose stories are worth telling. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and transformed. Welcome, and let's embark on this journey of discovery together. Impact Masters Podcast. You can check us out on all social media platforms. You can also find us across all podcast channels. Simply search for Impact Masters, then subscribe, follow, and share. www.impactmasters.io. Here's your host, Michael Kamathi.
Thank you so much. Welcome once again. This is a beautiful day, the day of the Lord. And today is a beautiful day. Why? Because we have an amazing guest from the South. I'm going to be telling you more about our friend. But before that, this podcast is powered by Africa's Talking. We provide USSD, SMS, voice, insight, chat, APIs that are accessible to all developers to build scalable solutions across Africa. With a portfolio of around 50,000 developers across Africa as of the time of recording this podcast. And my name again is Michael Kamathi. I'm just also building a tech ecosystem across Africa besides recording this podcast. And that's one of the main reasons that we are, hosting movers and shakers in tech across Africa. But besides that, it's also powered by Impact Masters Podcast. We are found in all the podcast channels, including iHeartRadio. You can go there, subscribe, download, support, and see other movers and shakers across the world. Something interesting about these podcasts is we have had it all, but today we have one and only Dzikamai Gangaidzo, digital transformation strategists, and this one distinguished chief mining engineer at ART, and he works at First Quantum Minerals. Dzikamai stands as a paragon of innovation and strategist foresight in the realm of mining engineering. His tenure of over a decade in the industry reflects a profound commitment to excellence and the relentless pursuit of operational optimization. At the helm of optimization, he is a manager who orchestrated transformative initiatives aimed at maximizing productivity and efficiency across all facets of mining operations. As a testament to his expertise and dedication, Dzikamai transitioned seamlessly into the role of Chief Technology Officer at UC Berkeley in California. Beyond his professional accolades, Dzikamai is a sought-after speaker known for his ability to inspire and empower audiences. In essence, Dzikamai is not just a leader, he is a visionary architect of the future, a relentless crusader for innovation, and a beacon of inspiration in the realm of mining engineering and technology leadership. He loves talking about transformational leadership as a catalyst for inclusive economic empowerment, technology and innovation as a tool for inclusion in the workplace, how to leverage data analytics in your business, digital disruption, embracing digital transformation strategies. So in case you have anything around this, Dzikamai could be reached on LinkedIn with the same name, Dzikamai Gangaidzo. We'll be posting these names so that you don't get it wrong when you're typing it. He worked internationally in Botswana, USA, UK, Zambia, and South Africa, but originally is from Zambia. However, a man's story cannot be told without him telling it. Those are just details that I've just hinted on it, but he is here with us. Dzikamai, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me.
Are you good?
So today is my first day in Kenya, in Nairobi.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
How did you find it?
That's what everyone keeps saying. So you're going to have to ask me after I've had more than one day.
You know, in Kenya, you just realize it within 30 minutes of arriving.
So what I like is that the energy is right.
It's good.
I'm like, okay, so I can really get into this, into this Nairobi life. So I'm hoping that the people that are taking me around, they do justice to the city.
Yeah. Wow. And you have a whole team, you know, behind the cameras who are taking good care of you, arranging your itinerary. Chief, you said you have over a decade and you don't look that old. So it looks like it's good, but you've got to hear about all of it. Did these guys take you for Nyama Choma or something? You know, the game park is in the city.
So I've got a lot of expectation.
All right.
So there's no pressure on them, but they've promised me the best.
And you'll be here for some time, right?
Indeed.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Kenya, Nairobi specifically. And all of Africa actually is quite beautiful. I've never been to Zambia, but soon I feel like I should go to Zambia.
Oh, you know somebody there, so...
Yes, a colleague of mine works there.
Me?
And now I know you.
Okay, thank you.
Now there are more than... Actually, there might be more than two if I think about it. But at least I know you now.
Yeah.
And there's a colleague who works in Zambia. We're also present in Zambia. Actually, I should have said that. So we're present in 23 markets as Africa's Talking. And our solution works across all 54 Africa Union recognized countries. So anywhere you build at scale. So if you solve a problem in Zambia, you're solving for all other African countries. And I think one of the key highlights we'll be talking today with you is how to do that and why should we do it. So please, where did Dzikamai start from?
Well, you said that Zambia is where I'm from.
Yes.
So I was born in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe.
Yeah. So I'm Zimbabwean by birth.
Okay.
And at the age of 18 months, my dad decided, well, I'm going to go to Botswana and I'm going to try buy a car.
Okay.
So he had this idea, this vision, and he took a leap with an 18-year-old child, and he said, packed up his bags, got a job, and he moved across into Botswana. Now, Botswana's got 2 million people now. So
then maybe it was less than a million.
Less, yes. So it would be a million.
What is then?
Then is a long time ago.
Okay.
You look at the face, it doesn't give it away. But then was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's about 36 years ago.
36 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he moved over and essentially I did a good period of my childhood in Botswana.
Okay.
But I never stayed in one place more than 4 months. 4 years, sorry.
Okay.
So every 4 years, we'd move to another city. And so for me, my journey has been one in which I'd always had to adapt, learn new people, get into a new environment.
Yeah.
And it's all about agility and how well you adapt into different spaces and situations.
Okay.
And I didn't actually know, because you can only... that was my life. So it's not like I chose it. But when I look back at it, I look at myself, some of the bad things are because of that, but some of the things that are good is because of that.
Yeah. So what are the bad things
in
your childhood that you remember?
Well, so you never get to keep friends. So,
okay.
So for me, it's something that... friendships and keeping friendships are something that are hard to do.
Yeah.
And when you move every 4 years, what I ended up having was that I meet people and I'll be in the moment, in the space that I'm in. So the people that I'm with right now are everything. And then when I move, I also move. And then I'm with those people that I'm with, and it's very hard for me to maintain very long-time friendship. So that for me is, I would say, is a sad thing and also a bad thing. It makes me look like a horrible friend to some of those people with actual manners. But the reality is that I want to impact lives, and I want to do it on a scale that is not just one city, one country.
Yeah.
It's across every single country across Africa.
Let me ask you this, Dzikamai.
Yeah.
So you went to primary school in Botswana.
Correct.
Up to which class?
Up to standard 4.
Standard 4.
Yeah. So I would have been about 10 years old.
Okay. Then you moved to?
Then I moved back to Zimbabwe.
Okay. You started from standard 4
to Form 4, which would have been IGCSE level.
Okay.
Yeah.
There they do IGCSE.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. And how was that class, I don't know, maybe nursery or pre-primary school to class 4? How was that experience for you?
So obviously being, I think I was very naughty.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a neighbor, and I recall this quite well. We'd always find something to get up to, but he sometimes took a bit long with his homework.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd run over, jump the fence, and then I'd go, hey, let me help you there.
Mm-hmm.
We finish your homework quickly so that we can get up to no good. and so we finished his homework. And one particular example was the helper in the house had sort of left, and I don't know where she had gone, but we decided that day we're going to cook.
Okay.
And I was 8
years.
7.
Yeah.
I was too young to be out of cooking on a pot.
Yeah.
So we get matches and we start trying to, and it was a gas.
Yeah.
So we start, and then we get surprised, and then we burn a little hole in the bed, in the bedding, all right?
Okay.
And then we give it another shot. We say, no, we're going to get this done. And so get the fire lighting now.
Yeah.
And with that fire lighting, it was that now the time to start cooking. And we wanted to cook what is known as sadza and shima or
ugali.
Ugali. And so we're like, I've seen this before. We know what to do.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
Water boils. When the water's boiled, we put in the flour.
Yeah.
So we started, right? And we think, we're on it. But every once in a while, we'll just check so that there's the coast clear. And the coast was clear. We're doing great. And we started bubbling, and then for whatever creative inspiration that came from either one of us, we decided that just putting the maize flour was going to be boring. So we started adding different things into it now.
What did you add?
So it started with salt. It started with a bit of pepper, a bit of spices.
You didn't have tea leaves?
No, it got to sand. and like I said, definitely there had to be some creative inspiration amongst us. We might have discussed, I can't remember the details, but I do believe that creatively we were really trying to push the envelope. So we had some sand into there. And then
they ceased to become an injima, as we calling it.
Indeed. And so then suddenly the helper comes back, and in our state of panic, we make a run for it, because as any criminal does, once you find the situation has turned on you, you make a run, you go. So we ran. I was his neighbor, so we ran next door. And in our quest to seek refuge, we found the most convenient place was next door.
Yes.
So my father comes back home after work and he beats us properly, because what on earth are we doing in somebody else's room?
But you're trying to cook cement.
I tried to explain. It didn't really work. But I mean, the thing is, for me, a lot of the things, very curious, very pushing boundaries and limits.
Yeah.
And if something doesn't make sense, then, well, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. If it breaks, it breaks. If not, then I'll just get beaten for it. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
So some of those experiences younger were all about getting in trouble.
Is there a good one on those experiences?
No.
Everything was just...
Well, maybe I should say it like this. What I remember well is the fact that the bad things didn't turn out the way that I thought they would. And so I'd get
So you always started doing the good thing. Well, you want to cook some food here and then you end up with the cement.
It start everything, like every journey, it starts with good intentions, but sometimes it doesn't always end. But now that actually you've reminded me, the one thing that actually came into my life at that period was MS-DOS. So I was fortunate enough, my dad managed to get a computer and it was MS-DOS.
Okay.
And I was hooked.
Okay.
Playing games. And look, you can't do much with MS-DOS. You literally forward slash directory, you see what you can. And at the end of the day, playing games was largely what I really got into.
Okay.
And 2D, so you could either move left or right. And but again, like with all my stories, they have a beating at the end of it. So so I would come and I know that my parents aren't quite as advanced within using this gadget.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, I'd do my homework, then I'd be like, yeah, let's go. And then now it is time for bathing and eating. You can switch it off, and then I'll stop.
Okay.
It was my response.
Okay.
I did that once. Then I got beaten.
Because
No. I was telling my mother. She was like, come and eat. You've been on this thing for too long. I'm like, no, you switch it off first, then I'll come. Because I knew she couldn't switch it off. And so then my father came back, and needless to say, I was informed that I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And it was demonstrated as well that I shouldn't be doing such things. Properly.
You never forget it.
No. And discipline is a key thing to any child's growth, especially one with a cheeky tongue. And so yes,
especially in Africa.
Especially in Africa, indeed.
Yes. So you moved to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you have to learn maybe a new culture, meet new friends at standard 4. How was that transitioning? Did it take away your, part of your childhood in Botswana, or it was seamless?
So for me, I wouldn't say it was seamless. We would have moved 4 times during that period, because we always moved every 3 to 4 years. And so by the time we got there, we'd already moved several times. I had already made new friends and lost old friends.
Yeah.
But getting into Zimbabwe, like you said, it's a different world, different environment, different culture.
Yeah.
And though I was born in Zimbabwe, I actually had spent all of my life before that period there in Botswana.
Yeah.
And so when I get now to Zimbabwe, it is learning everything in terms of people, how you deal with people, how you talk to people, the cultures, what is normal.
Yes.
And for me, the biggest thing was, so what happens usually is that I'm not very expressive. I don't really talk. When I get into a new space that I'm not necessarily comfortable, I will be quiet. I'll sit back, I'll read the room, I'll understand what's going on. And so that's what I would have done. And then that's what I did. And then you pick and you understand, this guy, these guys seem like nice people.
Yeah.
You'll find me with them.
Yeah.
And that's essentially how I assimilate into a space.
Yeah.
And so within that, one of the major things that then I really started picking up was sport. And sport is a very easy and natural way to meet different people and also to feel like you're part of a group.
Yeah.
And I guess as humans, one of the most natural things is we want to be in a tribe. We want to feel we're social beings, right?
Yeah.
And so sport became the refuge for me to be able to meet people.
Which sport specifically?
So anything that required running. And I don't know whether that's because I'd run away from parents at the previous.
Is poverty a sport?
I think
that requires a lot of running. Our brothers and sisters are running to Europe, drowning. Others are running to US.
We'll come back to that running story. Just remind me when I get to Botswana, okay?
You'll go back again.
I'll go back. My story is yes.
It's quite
it's just
international.
All over. Yeah, it's a confused story.
Yeah.
But anyways, I really got into sport, and sport was the thing that really helped me transition into this new space.
Yeah.
Where I was able to meet different people and different types of people. So your question was what sport?
Yeah.
Football, cricket, swimming.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
And then track.
Yeah.
And so, ironically, out of
the last one?
Track, like athletics.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Did you meet some Kenyans in that quest?
No. I'm so glad.
Everyone thinks they run until they meet Kenyans.
Well, I've met a few in this room, and I'm not going to say too much beyond that.
By the way, guys, take this gentleman in our Kasarani Sports Center because people are preparing for, I don't know, and maybe he tries to run and then
age has caught up with me now.
But if you're able to run, you did good in sport. It's the hardest sport.
So golf.
Oh, you did golf?
Yes. And
you're one of the biggest fan of golf in the room.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, maybe on the side you love to chat and exchange notes.
Well, maybe we play a game of golf and then I'll show him how it's done. And then
when we go to Zambia, that should be one of our key things to do there. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, largely any sport that I could get into, I picked it up and I run with it.
Okay.
And that then just meant that my days were full. And I'd meet different people and the reason why I also did different sports was because you meet different types of people.
Yeah.
And so ironically, the biggest sport that I did, or the one that I excelled the most in, was rugby and swimming.
Oh, that's a good combination.
So I really put a lot of effort into swimming and that's where I learned a lot of discipline as well. So though swimming might look effortlessly for a lot of people, there's a lot of practice that goes into that. For me, we would practice in the rain.
Yes.
And
swimming in the rain or
swimming in the rain, not swimming like it would be raining and would be swimming in the swimming pool. Okay. Just to clarify,
is that the hardest?
That's the hardest sport.
Why? No, I mean when it's raining.
No, it's because you're training as a group, and so when you're not in the water, you're outside just being rained on, and you're just standing
that's
there,
cold,
and you're just like, and so
shivering,
so it's one of those things where your mind has to be focused around, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
And you really streamline what your focus and attention will be about. And so as you sit in the line waiting, you're thinking, okay, I just did these 2 laps. I need to focus on my technique. I wasn't so good like this. And so even as though you're in the rain, you really have to focus to just keep your mind focused on what you're doing.
Yes.
It's very easy to be like, man, I'm just out here, I'm wet as a pillow, and you're not, this is horrible. But for me, one of the major things was discipline in a space like that. And some of these things you really, you build upon that muscle of discipline.
Yeah.
And so that was an amazing thing for within swimming. Within Zimbabwe, but then rugby also became something that was a major part of my life.
Yeah.
And so within the rugby world, I was a tiny guy.
Okay.
Compared to everybody. I am not a rugby looking guy.
Yes. And I agree 100%.
I thought you would say that, no, but you look like you might have the shoulders.
No, I don't lie. Oh. So, yes.
I guess.
I'm more rugby looking than you are. Yes. If you know what we mean, viewers. So, why I let to a gentleman that is looking rugby-ish, but you're more of golf, yes, athletic, football, but rugby.
But the thing is, what I really got to, and what I'll actually start with is a story about within the rugby world for me. So that was a sport I really loved. I loved it so much. I got to a provincial level in terms of playing the sport, and I always wanted my parents to come and watch me. And so I'd tell my parents, guys, I'm playing. Please come watch. And I don't know whether they didn't have time or they weren't interested. One of the two, they just didn't show up until one time when I finally managed to get them. And we're playing one of our greatest rivals. And so I sat there and I was so excited that my parents are here.
Yeah.
And we get in the huddle and we start the game. And I'm giving it everything.
Yes.
Again, remind you, I am small.
Yes. But were you the guy who runs fast in the rugby?
No, but the problem is I wasn't even that guy. I wasn't the guy on the outside who's supposed to run. Yeah. No, me, I was stupid. I was put into the group with the big guys, So I was in the scrum and I was a flanker. So a flanker is essentially somebody who is supposed to tackle people.
Yes.
And is supposed to be the first one at the time when the ball is on the ground, and they get like engaged in the whole sport.
These guys were setting you up for death.
And when I look back at it now, I'm like, but seriously, I should have like said no.
Yeah.
I belong there at the back, not in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
But I was at the middle of everything, and maybe the fact that I was also stupid and I had a lot of passion for this sport was the reason why I ended up being there. So I'm there. And I get to, so you tackle someone, the guy gets to the ground, and you either stand up, or if you're supporting, you're the first one there in defense, and you try to push people off the ball. Now, I was the first one there, and we're playing a really good team, and I just look up, and I'm like, over the ball, and I'm like trying to get the ball, and I look up, and they're like 4 big guys, and they just come, bah, and they flatten me. I'm like, yo, this is intense, but this is what I've signed up for. My parents are standing there watching me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a punk. You won't find me like crawling out of the game. Not today, not when my parents came after such a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm there, I'm on it, and I'm playing my heart out. When I finished the game, because the actual story is not in the game.
Yeah.
But when I finished the game, I'm like, Mom, Dad, did you see me? And I'm like, smile ear to ear, and yeah, I was limping, but I was
These
fine.
after you guys won or lost?
No, we won, of course.
Okay.
Especially for this episode, I will tell you that we won.
Yes.
And I might at times base my story off of true events, but I've adjusted it for
this purpose.
For this purpose.
You're now sounding like a movie director. But go ahead.
No, but we did win, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I go to my parents. I'm like, Dad, Mom, that was amazing. Did you see me? Did you watch? My mom was like, what the hell was that? I'm like, what do you mean what the hell was that? I was playing, we won, I did those things. Like, you should be like lifting me up and hugging me and being so excited. And she's like, you almost died. You almost died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I didn't almost die. I'm perfectly fine. Look at me.
Yeah.
I might be limping a bit and there's a cut on my eye, but it's nothing major.
Yeah.
And so she was looking at it, the whole game, from a different perspective, from the perspective of a mom.
Yeah.
And
This is my kid.
This is my kid. And she was looking at me and like, every time I get hit, she'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my word, my son's about to die.
Yeah.
And my father didn't have any
Issues.
No, he hated it as well.
Oh, okay.
So they from that moment on, they were lobbying for me to stop playing rugby.
Okay.
Even though I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And through the next 3 games, I then said to myself, well, my parents want me to quit. I love this sport.
I'm gonna go all the way.
I'm going all the way. I'm still gonna play.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the most important thing to that is I realized that nobody's watching and nobody cares.
It's just you.
It's me, and it's my journey,
Yeah.
and it's my decisions.
Yeah.
And so for me, I carried on playing rugby,
Yeah.
not because what I thought initially was to impress my parents,
Yeah.
but it's because I want to play rugby.
Yes.
And I want to be what I want to be within the rugby world.
Yeah.
And so that became something that really stuck with me. Like, I had so much excitement, so much hope that my parents would not accept me, but they'd be so excited as well. But no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I had to make a decision. The decision was a decision for myself.
This is for me.
This
Yeah.
is for me.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching and nobody really cares.
Yeah.
And so I should just get on with life, make my decisions, and carry on.
Yeah.
And so within that whole experience, the rugby world, you make lots of friends, you share lots of moments, and you really, it's a gentleman's sport. That's what they call it. Even though it looks chaotic.
Yeah.
It is a sport that requires a lot of coordination amongst different people and every
And
player,
trust.
and trust
Yeah.
and with trust, because every player needs to play their part. So that side, you do your thing. I'm this side, I'm doing my thing, and
It's
at the
gonna
end-
make sense at the end of
and
it.
then it has to make sense.
Yeah.
And so for me, a lot of when I started within Zimbabwe was sport, and that helped me transition from Botswana into Zimbabwe. But then I went to boarding school, and my parents then left Zimbabwe, went back to Botswana, but I was boarding, and so I'd see my parents 4 times in a year, and that was at the age of 13. You get to boarding school, you think that. Well, this is going to be a different experience. I'm meeting new people, and I really was separate. Like I was independent from my parents at that point.
Yeah.
And you start to make friends, and you start to realize the hierarchy of life. And at the end of the day, that became the next part of my journey in terms of development and growth.
Nice. When we come back, we'll venture more into this story. But for now, let's take a short break.
Quick pause, folks. We're stepping into a brief interlude, but stay tuned, because after the break, we dive deeper into the incredible journey of our guest. Meanwhile, we'd like to send a massive shout out to our sponsors for empowering this exchange of ideas and innovation. We'll be right back on Impact Masters. Subscribe, follow, and share. Check us out at www.impactmasters.io. See you after the break.